Once, Chapter 4. Once I escaped from an orphanage in the mountains, and I didn't have to do any of the things you do in escape stories. Dig a tunnel, disguise myself as a priest, make a rope from nun robes knotted together. I just walked out through the main gate. I slithered down the mountainside through the cool green forest, feeling very grateful to God, Jesus, the Virgin Mary, the Pope, and Adolf Hitler. Grateful that after the Nazis left this morning, the nuns didn't lock our gate. Grateful that this mountainside is covered in pine needles rather than tangled undergrowth and thorns. Mother Minkus took us out on an excursion once to look for blackberries. Dowdy got tangled in the thorns. He cried for his mum, but she wasn't there. Only me. Stop it. Stop feeling sad about him. People who feel sad make careless mistakes and get caught. They trip over tree roots and slide down mountainsides on their heads and break their glasses, and the nuns hear them swearing. I slither to a halt and listen carefully, trying to hear if Father Ludwig and his horse are on the mountain road looking for me. All I can hear is birds and insects and the trickle of a stream. I push my glasses more firmly onto my face. Mom and Dad are the ones who need me now. I think about getting to the shop and hiding our books and then finding a train ticket receipt that tells me where Mom and Dad are and which train I have to catch to find them. I think about how wonderful it'll be when we're all together again. I have a drink from the stream and head down the mountain through beams of golden sunlight. You know how when you haven't had a cake for 3 years and 8 months and you see a cake shop and you start tasting the cakes even before that you're put in your mouth? Soft boiled buns oozing with icing, sticky pastries dripping with chocolate and bursting with cream, jam tarts. I'm doing that now. I can smell the almond biscuits too, even though I'm crouching in a pig pen, and there's a very smelly pig sticking its snout in my ear. Over there, across that field, is Father Ludwig's village. It must be. It was the only village I could see as I was coming down into the valley. One of those buildings must definitely be a cake shop. But I can't go any closer wearing these orphanage clothes. Father Ludwig has probably put the word around that an escaped orphan is on the loose. Plus, Nazi book burners could be in the general store buying matches. The pig is looking at me with sad, droopy eyes. I know how it feels. Cheer up, I say to the pig. I don't want to waste time in the village anyways. I need to get to my hometown. And the good news is that I know it's on a river that flows near here. When Mom and Dad drove me to the orphanage in the bookshop cart, we traveled next to the river almost the whole way to the mountains. The pig cheers up. It snuffles the sore patches on my feet. You're right, I say. These orphanage shoes hurt a lot. I need to get some proper shoes from somewhere, ones that aren't made from wood, and some proper clothes, and directions to the river. The pig frowns, and I can see it's trying to remember where the river is. It can't. Thanks for trying, I say. Thinking about cakes has made me hungry. I didn't have breakfast this morning, and now it's past lunchtime. I look wistfully at the pig's food. It's gray and lumpy, like Sister Elvira's porridge. My mouth waters, but there's not enough in the rusty trough for both of us. I can see the pig is happy to share, but I don't feel I should. The pig is stuck here, and that's all it's got. I'm lucky. I can get food anywhere. I'm free. Thank you, God, Jesus, Mary, the Pope, and Adolf Hitler for answering my prayers. A house. I'm sorry I started doubting you while I was lost in the fields, and blaming you for the scorching sun and lack of puddles to drink. This is perfect. A house on a deserted road without any nosy neighbors or police stations nearby. And on the wall next to the front door is one of those carved metal things that religious Jewish families in our town have in their houses. I knock. The door swings open. Hello, I call. Anyone at home? Silence. I call again, louder. Still, no reply. I wish I had Mother Minka with me for advice about what to do next, but I don't. And I'm desperately thirsty, so I go into the house hoping the owners aren't deaf and unfriendly. If they're here, it doesn't matter, because they're not here. All 3 rooms in the place are empty. The people must have left in a big hurry because there are 2 half-eaten meals on the kitchen table, and one of their chairs has fallen over. I pause, listening carefully. What's happened? Where are the people? I pick the chair up. The kitchen stove is still burning, and the back door is wide open. I stick my head out. The garden and the fields are all empty. In the distance, I hear faint gunshots. Of course, that explains it. They're out hunting. They must have seen some rabbits, grabbed their guns, and gone after them in a big hurry. They probably won't be back for ages. When Father Ludwig goes rabbit hunting, he's usually gone for hours. On the kitchen table's a jug of water. I drink most of it. Then I eat some of the potato stew on each plate. I leave a bit in case the people are hungry when they get back. In one of the other rooms there are some clothes and shoes. None of them is for a kid, but I guess you can't have all your prayers answered in one day. I take off my orphanage clothes, put on a man's shirt and trousers, and trim the ends off the arms and legs with a kitchen knife, and use the bits of cloth to wedge around my feet in a pair of men's shoes. Then, while my clogs and orphanage clothes are burning in the kitchen stove, I tear a page from the back of my notebook and write a note. Dear people who live here, sorry. I know stealing is wrong, but I haven't got any money, and my mom and dad's books are in great danger. I hope you understand. Yours faithfully, Felix. I can't find a single map in the house, but it doesn't matter. I think I know which way the river is now. In the distance I can hear more gunshots. Dad read me a hunting story once about how deer and foxes and rabbits prefer to live near lakes and rivers. So the hunters from this house are probably over near the river. Thanks, Dad. I eat one more mouthful of the potato stew and cut a piece of loaf off the bread, and then put it inside my shirt with my notebook and letters. I find a hat and put it on and clean my glasses and lace up the shoes as tightly as I can. Then I set off along the road towards the gunshots. This is just like a story I once wrote. The two heroes, Mum and Dad, came to a lonely crossroads. They're not sure which way to go yet to their destination, the cave of a troll who wants to buy a full set of encyclopedias. So they use their ears for navigation. They listen carefully until, in the distance, they hear the troll noisily eating farm animals, and that tells them that they have to turn left. I'm doing the same standing here at the crossroads. I'm listening really hard, but I'm having trouble hearing any more gunshots because it's the countryside that's noisy. Birds chirping in the trees, insects chattering in the sunshine, fields of wheat rustling in the breeze. Sometimes real life can be a bit different from stories. I adjust my hat, which keeps sliding down over my ears. Wait a second, over there. Gunshots. Thank you, God and the others. I head along a road that's wider than the last one. This one's got wheel tracks in the dust, not the usual cartwheel tracks with hoof marks between them. These are jagged tracks of rubber truck tires. I hope a truck comes along soon, because now that I'm wearing ordinary clothes and I don't look like a runaway orphanage kid, I can ask for a ride. A horse cart would be fine too. Anything to get me to the river in our town and our books more quickly. At last, a truck. I stand in the middle of the road and wave my hat. As the truck gets closer, I see it's a farm animal truck packed with people. They're standing in the back, squashed together. That's strange. They don't look like they've got many clothes on. Why would half-naked people be packed into a truck like that? I get it. They must be farm workers going on a holiday. They're so excited about having a swim in the river that they've undressed already. I don't blame them. This sun's really hot. I'm still waving, but the truck isn't slowing down. It's speeding up, driving straight at me. Stop, I yell. The truck doesn't stop. I fling myself off the road into the long grass. The truck speeds past, spraying me with dust and grit and engine fumes. I can't believe it. That truck driver was so busy daydreaming about his holiday he didn't even see me. Wait a minute, there's another one coming. This one's painted in brown and gray splotches. I think it's an army truck. This time I wave from the side of the road just in case. Hey, I yell, can I have a ride? The soldiers are sitting in the back. Some of them see me and point. One raises his rifle and pretends to aim at me. That's very nice of him, giving a country kid a thrill. But I'm not a country kid. I'm a town kid, and I need to get home urgently. Please, I yell. This truck doesn't slow down either. As it passes, it hits a hole in the road, and all the soldiers bounce up into the air. Suddenly, there's a long bang. I fall back into the long grass. I'm stunned with shock. I've been shot at. The soldier shot at me. The bullet was so close to my head I can still hear it buzzing in my ear. I roll over and lie as flat as I can in case any of the other soldiers have a go. None of them does. I start to breathe again. It must have been an accident. The bounce of the truck must have made the gun go off. I have another thought. That poor soldier. Tonight in the barracks he'll hardly be able to swallow his dinner, he'll be so upset. All he wanted to do was play a little trick, and now he thinks he shot an innocent kid. I scramble to my feet and wave at the truck, which is disappearing down the road. Don't worry, I yell. I'm all right. But the truck has vanished into a dust cloud from the first truck, so the soldier doesn't see me and doesn't give me a ride. What bad luck. for him and me. At last, the river. After walking such a long way, it's so good to kneel on the cool stones, stick my face into the water, and have a drink. This river is beautiful. The water's gleaming gold in the sunset, and the warm air smells damp and fresh, and there are millions of tiny insects turning happy floating cartwheels in the soft light. Last time I was here, when I was 6, I must have been too young to notice how beautiful Poland is in the summer. Though there's another reason why I love this river so much now. It's going to lead me home. I stand up and look around. The little road beside the river is still here, just like I remember it. The road that goes all the way back to our place. Shame it's too narrow for trucks, but you can't have everything. I'm feeling really good now, even though I'm a bit hungry, because I've been trying to make my bread last, and one mouthful wasn't a very big dinner. I've still got a lot more walking to do, but in my heart I feel like I'm almost home. And I don't feel so anxious about the Nazi book burners, because I've worked out what they're doing. They're burning books in the villages and remote orphanages first, before winter comes, so they don't have to get cut off by the snow, which means they probably haven't done any of the towns yet, so I'll be in plenty of time to hide our books. What's that noise? Boy, gunfire's loud when it's so close. That lot startled me so much I almost fell into the water. The hunters must be just around the bend in the river. Another burst of gunfire, a long one, and then another. Sunset must be when loads of rabbits come out, or perhaps the hunters are just using up their bullets to save carrying them home. I'm glad I'm not going in that direction. I'm glad I have to head this way, the same way the river's flowing, away from the mountains. I look at that. The river has suddenly turned red, which is a bit strange because the sunset is still yellow. The water's so red it almost looks like blood, but even with all those gunshots, the hunters couldn't have killed that many rabbits. Could they? No. It must just be a trick of the light.